I think for me, even just showing up after the first couple practices at UCLA, still a walk-on, still, undersized I showed up at like 210, things like that. And I remember calling my mom and telling her I'm going to be able to go play in the NFL just after watching the first couple practices. And obviously, I knew that there would be a lot of work I had to put in to get there. But I think that's one of the things that was huge for me is just having the confidence.
Your participation in this podcast is mandatory. However, remember the offseason program is voluntary. And with that, we welcome you to the best podcast available. My name is Andrew Siciliano. That is Jason Gibbs, still going over the schedule with a fine-tooth comb to plan his fall. We welcome you to another edition on the Browns offseason march towards real football. Gibbe, what's going on, my friend?
I got the comb joke. Maybe for you. There's no comb here for this guy.
You see, that really wasn't a comb joke.
I took it as
Spaceballs combing the deserts?
I'm not offended by
No?
this.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Absolutely. No maintenance. It's great. It's good.
Can we explain to people what the offseason program is? Let's do it. These
Go
are
ahead.
OTAs. They are not mandatory. So I know people are like combing Brown's social. Like, who is there? Who is on the field? It is great to see everyone back on the field, by the way. Great to see Matt Starkey and Bree with their fantastic photo work of the players smiling and laughing and throwing footballs on the field. It's good. But here's what it is. The offseason program begins in early April, third week of April for coaches like Kevin Stefanski, not a new head coach, a returning head coach. Everything is voluntary. Maximum of 4 per week. No weekends. Okay, before the mandatory minicamp. Contact prohibited. No live blocking, no live tackling, no pass rushing. You can't even go bump and run here as you're going touch and go and throwing downfield. 2 weeks, strength and conditioning, 90 minutes max on the field. You could only be in the building for like 2 hours as mandated. You could just do 2 hours of weights. It is really low-key stuff. Quarterbacks can throw to receivers with no coverage, like during dead ball periods. Kickers and punters can kick, but players cannot field the ball. Long snappers can long snap, but only into a net. There are all kinds of restrictions here. So it's a lot of learning. It's a lot of install. Kevin Stefanski said during Rookie Minicamp, Gibby, that we're putting in stuff for the rookies and trying stuff out. They can do more than you can do in OTAs before mandatory mini. Testing stuff with the rookies before you install it with Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco. So it's a lot of let's get in the lab and let's get everybody back in shape.
Yeah, exactly. And that's and more importantly, get everybody on the same page. And that's what the install, the meetings, we're finally starting to see with OTAs a little more field work than we've seen in the past. I know it's not coverage and all of those parameters that you just, spouted out to us. But at the end of the day, they're on the field now. And now we're starting to see we get some availability once a week. Media is allowed to come out and watch. We get a chance to talk to the players a little bit more. But the guys are starting to install what will be the 2025 Browns offense and the 2025 Browns defense.
I gave you phase 1 rules. The rules get progressively more relaxed in phase 2 and phase 3. But the number one headline here is no live contact. During phase 3, the last one before mandatory minicamp, you could do 7-on-7, you could do 9-on-7, you could do 11-on-11, but no live contact. And in phase 3, you can put the helmets on. We're not there yet. We'll get there.
Yep.
And you could get a little more serious. But just a friendly reminder as we look at, anything, nothing gets really serious until mandatory minicamp, and then eventually we get to training camp. So there's that. And we have plenty to still chew on from Rookie Minicamp. I want to go back and play an interview that we did. Just full disclosure, this was before day 2 of practice. So before Mason Graham had his, little thing on the field where he ate too many wings and he cleaned off his helmet. He's a great teammate. He showed us that. This was his new position coach, Jacques Cesaire, with his impressions of Mason in the classroom, the meeting room early, and after 1 day of camp. It's only Rookie Minicamp, Jacques Cesaire, but I feel like you are in mid-season form? Because have you already lost your voice after
Yeah.
one day of rookie minicamp?
Yeah, I always tell the guys, like, I'm not yelling. I'm just speaking in urgency right now, and I've lost my voice just a little bit. Okay, I've been drinking a lot of tea, a lot of honey, and trying to get it back. But the voice is lost, but the message isn't. Yeah, obviously it is urgent because we got to get guys up to speed. Right? They haven't done this ever in their whole entire life. The things that we're asking them to do, as far as movement skills are concerned, as far as launching every single play. So that's something that has to be built every single day. So right now we're just trying to stack days. It's only really a day and a half. But what I'm seeing right there is very encouraging.
I knew you were excited on draft day when they handed in the card for Mason Graham.
Absolutely.
Now that you have him here in the building, your early impressions.
Yeah, so my early impressions is extremely intelligent, okay, hardworking, gritty, tough, competitive, all the things that we're looking for in our defensive lineman. But something that a lot of people don't realize about Mason, right, the guy is extremely quick. All right, and he knows how to rush the passer. So we're really excited about having him. He's tough. He has real strong physical hands, and I can't wait to see him with some pads on.
He says that the message from you to him has been that you want to take the handcuffs off, right? What does that mean?
Well, it just simply means that we're going to attack. Okay, and we're not going to be reading blocks or anything like that. I'm not going to try and slow him down. I want him to go. Okay, I think his superpower is his get off and his hands and how physically violent he is, and I want to see that every single play. 60 plays 60 times is what I tell him. So the urgency is that right there. Is trying to build that habit every single day, and that's not easy to do when you're coming from a read front where you're asked to sit back in your stance and allow things to happen, and then you go. I'm telling him right now, I want you to go and make things happen. Okay.
That was my follow-up question. I think the layman at home would say, oh, that's easy. Just go get the quarterback. But when you have not been accustomed to playing in that style defense, how much of a transition truly is that?
It's a tough transition, and it takes a special type of player to do that. Right, we're asking guys to run through a dark room, all right, and I'm gonna tell him that no more do you have to worry about a double team or a base block or a scoop block or a reach block. Those things don't exist to us because we're gone. I'm not trying to slow this guy down. I want penetration, I want disruption, and that's what he brings to the table.
I really enjoyed sitting with Mason when he came in the day after he got drafted, met him and his whole family, and he's a mild-mannered dude, right?
Absolutely,
He's got a smile on his face. He's not a screamer. He's not a yeller, although we've certainly seen it on the field. And I asked him, how does he flip that switch and become a different dude? He says he gets that question all the time. Right, yeah. You've been around a lot of defensive linemen in your time, both teammates and guys you've coached. How rare is that, the quiet guy who switches?
Yeah, I played with a couple guys like that, Luis Castillo, to name one, where guys are they're really processing everything and absorbing information, as much information as they can, but that there's something burning inside of him that when he gets on that field, when he steps on the field, a switch, comes on right away, and now that guy becomes a dangerous human being. So I don't care if he doesn't want to scream or yell or do anything like that. What I see on the tape when he steps on the field is a guy that wants to be disruptive, that wants to get to the quarterback as fast as he can. So, I'm not worried about his demeanor. I know that guy plays pissed off when he needs to.
What can he and, fingers crossed, a healthy Mike Hall do for Miles and whomever, whether it's McGuire or Wright or Joe Schwesinger or whomever on the other side? What can those two tackles do to open things up?
Well, obviously, when you got two defensive tackles that are penetrators, that are fast and disruptive, that can take the depth of the pocket away from the quarterback, that's going to open up a lot of things for guys like Miles and Joe and Alex and Zay and Obo. So we want those guys to understand, hey, it's about pushing that pocket in the quarterback's lap, making him uncomfortable so he can't step up. And if he can't step up, all right, and you got Miles coming around the edge, that's a recipe for success for us. So I'm excited to see him, Mike Hall, Malik Collins, get after the quarterback this year, because I know that's only going to open up the entire rush for all of us.
I know you're keeping your eye only on your room. You got Carson Swessinger there as well.
Yeah, I love
Jason
him.
Tarver's room at linebacker.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
love it,
What do you like?
Yeah, super smart, super instinctual, can move really well, flip his hips, run. I mean, the guy can hit. He's a hitting machine. I'm excited to see what he is. I call him the California Luke Kuechly. Okay, so
okay.
he's going to go out there and he's going to do some impressive things. I'm excited to see what he can do.
And thoughts on the other side of the ball, what you've seen, whether it's the quarterbacks, the running backs, Harold Fandon, whomever?
Yeah, I just think everybody, all the rookies are doing a good job coming in, absorbing information, and trying to apply it on the field. And that's what we can be hopeful for right now. Last year's last year, and it's gone. Okay, we're not thinking about that anymore. So what we need right now is young, fast, hungry dog, experienced people that are gonna come out here and play their very best football that they can play, compete, be tough, and go win some football games.
I was looking it up on the plane. We're getting old. You and Shador's dad. I know you didn't play against each other in a game, but you guys overlapped in the league. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, when you're hearing that these guys are born in like 2000, that's 1998.
Beyond 2000 now.
Yeah,
Harold Fandon doesn't turn 21 for another month.
And I'm just thinking to myself, man, I don't know when it happened, when I got old, but I love it. I love seeing these guys come out here and do what they love to do. This is the greatest sport in America, and I wouldn't want to be any other place.
Your voice came back in the course of this interview, by the way.
It did a little bit. I appreciate it.
Jacques Cesaire is always great to see. Hope you get 5 minutes off in June, and we'll be back here in a little bit.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Jacques Cesaire, one of my favorite people, by the way. You saw that energy. Awesome. And that energy is going to flip that switch for Mason Graham, which we did see on the field in Rookie Minicamp. Don't take the Mason Graham on the podium as the quiet, aw shucks kid, born in Orange County, living with his family in Hawaii. He ain't that guy, and everyone has seen that already. Speaking of Southern California, how about Carson Swessinger? He is going to wear 49. This was, full disclosure, recorded when he first came into the cross-country mortgage campus the day after, getting selected number 33 overall, and before his interception that went viral at Rookie Minicamp. Here he is. Carson Swessinger, welcome to Cleveland.
Excited to be here.
Can we get the name out of the way? Because I feel like I've been tripped up on it 100 times. It's actually a really easy name to say, but you've probably heard it 15 different ways, right?
Tons of different ways.
Okay.
I mean, each coach says it differently wherever I'm at, too.
So say it for the fans.
Swessinger.
Like a J. Swessinger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to get it down. I apologize in advance if anyone screws it up. What's the craziest you've heard?
Oh, I mean, it gets shortened at every place I'm at, so nobody ever calls me Swessinger, and I can never hear the broadcast saying it. So, I mean, I've had coaches, they'll shorten it to Swess. That one's good, but then it'll get to Schweiss.
Schweiss?
Yeah.
Like they're speaking to you in German.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
You don't speak German, for the record.
No.
Okay. Okay. So we can call you Swess.
I mean, you can call me whatever.
Okay.
It all works. I mean,
we'll
nothing
go with
else.
Swess.
All right.
Okay. We joked last night about the number. You're going to go with 49. I'm asking everyone about their number.
I think so. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Did you know you were going with the first pick in the second?
I did not. No. I had called my agents before, and they kind of, left. They said they had known, but they left me in the dark so that I could be surprised, which was pretty great.
And you found out, and your reaction was?
Oh, man. I mean, well, when I get the call, answer the FaceTime, I'm like, oh, it's Cleveland. And then it like kind of set in, but then when they actually said, we're going to take you with this pick, I kind of just froze. Like, I didn't know. I was speechless, And so that was a pretty cool moment. And then, the phone gets passed around and talking to everybody. And then my family's all there. And so eventually I hang up the phone and everyone starts cheering. It was a great moment. It was really exciting.
There's a UCLA connection as well with Browns linebackers coach Jason Tarver. He was an assistant coach there many years ago while working on his graduate degree. And I'm gonna reach for my phone now to get the major right, because you guys have that in common as well. A bioengineering major, Carson. What is a bioengineering major course load like?
It's probably a little more than the normal college athlete course load. A couple extra classes, a lot of labs. So I'm doing a little bit more and then lab reports and stuff. But it was all stuff that I was interested in. So wasn't too difficult for me. And really, it was just a matter of making sure I was prepared for the weeks so that just don't get caught behind and make sure you turn everything in and you should be good.
And you're able to squeeze it in, and your journey is amazing here. I know everyone asks about how a guy goes from walk-on to almost a first-round pick, but it speaks to the fact that you earned it from day number one. You went from special teams to special teams demon to a starter to All-American to second-round pick. When did you know that journey was taking you to the NFL?
I think for me, even just showing up after the first couple practices at UCLA, still a walk-on, still, undersized I showed up at like 210, things like that. And I remember calling my mom and telling her I'm going to be able to go play in the NFL just after watching the first couple practices. And obviously I knew that there would be a lot of work I had to put in to get there. But I think that's one of the things that was huge for me is just having the confidence that I could do it. So when I was on the field, I wasn't worried about making mistakes because, I knew what I was capable of. And then continuing still that even with the confidence, having the work ethic of, showing up as a walk-on and making sure that I was doing everything I could so that when I got my opportunity, I was ready for it.
I also think it's great that you chose to bet on yourself. I mean, Bucknell, maybe there was an offer there as well. You went to Oaks Christian. It's not as if you went to some small school. For the Ohio audience that doesn't know, you got a lot of football talent coming out of your school, a lot of NFL talent coming out of your school. And it took Chip Kelly to say, do you want to walk on at UCLA? Was it a tough decision to stay at home and bet on yourself in, at that point, the Pac-12?
No, for me, I didn't think it was a tough decision. That year, too, for recruitment was during COVID year, so there wasn't a whole lot of options, like you said, and I knew I wanted to play football in college. So for me, once I heard I would be able to walk on there, that wasn't a tough decision at all. I get to stay close to home and play college football at the highest level. So pretty easy decision for me.
Do you want to play special teams here as a rookie?
Oh, yeah. I just want to be on the field as much as possible.
The way you said that, by the way, tells me that you love special teams. Mm-hmm. What do you love about them?
All of it. I mean, you could change the game with one play, regardless of what special teams it is. And really, I think special teams a lot of times wins and loses games. And so being able to make an impact on special teams is something that's huge, and it's what got me my start at UCLA and led me to where I'm at. And it's a piece that even when I was playing more this year, they were trying to take me off some of the things, and I had to argue a little bit to be able to be kept on some of them.
What was that transition like when you finally did get your call? And then, dude, you took off. I mean, led the nation in solo tackles. So it's not like when they gave you your shot, you did anything other than own it.
Yeah. The transition was smooth. I mean, for me, going into games, my whole mindset is just feel like it's practice. I like how I practice. I think I practice hard and practice fast. And so I always feel comfortable in practice, and I know what I'm doing. And so really the goal is just translate that into the games, and I'll be able to play fast and play the type of football I know I'm able to play. And, so the transition was pretty smooth for me.
Who are the linebackers you look to in the NFL? Anybody?
Yeah, of course. I mean, they have a great linebacker here with JOK. Mm-hmm. The versatility he has and just what he's done since he's been brought in the league. I think for me, one of my favorites, doesn't play anymore, but Kuechly was one of my all-time favorites. Just what he does in terms of his knowledge of the game, and then the effort and relentlessness he plays with. And as a linebacker, you gotta, once you get on the field, it doesn't matter how you are off the field, but once you get on the field, you gotta have a little bit of a screw loose and ready to go run and hit.
Do you?
Oh yeah, ready to go run and hit whatever it takes to win. And so he's another one.
And finally, a message for Browns fans, Carson. What would it be?
Message for Browns fans. I mean, we're showing up to the dog pound now, and you can see with this whole draft, we're bringing a lot of dogs. So get ready for the most rowdy dog pound you're going to get. A lot of dogs flying all over the field.
They're going to love that. Carson Swessinger, congratulations again. Welcome to Cleveland.
Yes, sir.
I think Browns fans are really going to love Carson Swessinger, and you're probably going to see a lot more of him than maybe we expected. Look, 33 overall pick, you do know he is going to be out there plenty. He needs to be an instant impact guy. But Gibbe, since we recorded that, we got the news that Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is not going to play football this season. Put on the PUP list, and he's not going to be here. So they already made up their mind. He is getting better. He is at the cross-country mortgage campus. He is improving, but he's still not yet at the point where he is ready to play football. There are legitimate questions as to whether or not he is going to get to that point. I think that is fair to say. But this is one of those injuries where it needs time to heal. He needs time as well to to figure out how he wants to proceed. And the Browns just said, and he said, and the doctors said, you know what? Let's take all the guesswork and the pressure out of it this year. Let's just say we're going to pass on 2025.
And it sucks because
yeah, it does.
It sucks for him. He's a great young man. We've spent a lot of time with him on a number of our shows, whether it's Browns Daily, whether it's BPA, whether it's, Browns pregame or, the preview show or Stefanski show. He's truly one of the good guys and one of the leaders on this football team. They made the right decision. I mean, you've got to take care of the human first. Like,
yes.
He's got to have a quality of life. He's got to be able to, do things. And he's active. He's active in the community. He's active back in his native country. Like, he's all over the place, and he wants to be involved in things. And you take care of the health first. Health and safety is the priority. Made the right decision. It stinks not having him out there, but I feel like he's going to be a guy that's going to be around here a lot. He's going to be in the meeting rooms. He's going to be with Tarver. He may become that coach on the sidelines that really helps some of these young guys and that linebacker room come together.
I've been asked, did the Browns know when they drafted Carson Swessinger? My answer would be, I think they had a good idea. Certainly. That this was the likely outcome for 2025. Carson Swessinger also is a heck of a player. Then you could see teams traded down after the Browns took him at 33. Other people wanted him. I know from other NFL buildings, they were like, I wanted that guy. So he's a great pick regardless of JOK's situation. But you need a linebacker. And you're right. On the personal side, it is heartbreaking for JOK. But I'm also really happy that he is in a good place. It could have been worse. He's in a good place right now. He legitimately is improving. And on the field, what you lose speaks for itself. He was playing at an all-pro level. He had been a Pro Bowler the year before. He was playing at an all-pro level. What Andrew Berry said in his press release when JOK signed the extension about being a shapeshifter, that was the line I always used on NFL Network. He was a shapeshifter. It's like you're watching The Matrix. You know how Myles Garrett can bend around left tackle, right, and almost go parallel to the ground? JOK can do that under running backs trying to pick up a blitz, under pulling guards on a sweep that he can duck under and take down that running back for a 5-yard loss. He did things, I'm going to keep it present tense, he does things when healthy, getting under blocks in the backfield that no other player in the NFL can do, period. So you're losing an all-pro on the field, and as corny as it sounds, an all-pro off the field. He's going to be around. He is around, and fingers crossed here. There is a day where he can get back on the football field, but if he can't, you know what? Guy's got a lot going on. On. And he's a treasure to the organization and the community.
Yeah, I just want him to get better.
Absolutely.
Get better, and then we'll figure out the next steps. They made the right decision.
Yep.
Take your time coming back. We know what our linebacker room is. I think it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
And we go from there.
Exactly. And veteran leadership there with Jordan Hicks coming back. All right. This is it. One more OTA, BPA, until it's mandatory minicamp time. And your participation in the pod is always mandatory as we come full circle. For Jason Gibbs, my name is Andrew Siciliano. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Thank you for listening to and watching the best podcast available.